Hello, everyone. My name is Coach Michelle, and I am glad that you joined me. Today, we're going to go through the forward fold, and I want you to find yourself a mat or the ground is fine. And I just want you to first plant your feet, keeping your toes straight ahead. We really want to focus on keeping our second toe forward. Our big toe may slightly turn in just a little bit, but not pigeon toed. I have a big problem with usually my left foot gets turned in like this, and that's not what we want because it affects the knee and the hip, and then my hip starts to hurt. So I really want to focus on taking the balls of my feet and the blade of my foot, which is this area here and here, and planting those areas, balls of my feet, blade of my foot. That's where I'm feeling the pressure. I'm pushing all of my energy on the balls of my feet, the blade of my foot. In this forward fold, we're going to keep our toes spread. So spread your toes. Feel the pressure. Push into the ground with the balls of your feet and the blades of your foot, which is the outside lower portion of your foot. And you don't want to rest on your heels. Make sure you're not resting on the back part of your heels. Press down, and then we're going to tear apart an imaginary piece of paper here. You can make a fist width apart of your feet. Toes are spread. Balls of the foot are planted into the ground. Blades of our feet are feeling the pressure, and the energy is being forced to the outside parts of our feet, that under area. We're going to push our hips and our glutes back to the sky. So we really want to plant our feet, pressure in the balls of our feet and the blades of our foot. We're going to push our glutes and our hips back and up to the sky. Looking to find that curvature, right? Slight curvature right here at the lower back. Head is straight ahead, like there's somebody pulling a string at the top of your head away from you. Pushing back and up. Now, when we're pushing into the ground, we are now seeing that maybe our knees are kind of going out. We don't want our knees to go out for this work here. We want to bring them in and be straight. So the way we get these kneecaps, I always put my hands kind of on the side here, like on top of my kneecap, because then my eyes can visually see, are my knees aligned with my ankles? Right now, they're not. They're a little pointed out here. And for this work, we're not going out. For this work, we want these to be in. And the way you get your knees to go straight and in is you rotate at the hip joint. So our femur bone up here needs to rotate in. So until we get the flexibility to do that, which this workout will do, we're just going to take our time and we're going to lean. We're going to push our glutes back to the wall behind us. And we're going to lean forward. As we're leaning forward, we are going to pretend there's an imaginary piece of paper in between our feet right here, and we're going to rip it apart. So as there's a piece of paper, we're ripping, so we're pushing pressure to the outside blade of our foot, and we're pushing pressure. If you have a booty band, it works well too, but you're pushing pressure out, right to left at your thighs. And we want to continue to push back and pull our thighs apart. And then as we pull our thighs apart, you will feel sensation. You're going to start feeling that glute activation. Continue to pull apart your feet without moving your feet. Pull apart your hips. You'll see a slight movement. Like right now, no activation. I'm in a passive state. I push my glutes back to the wall. Chest comes down and forward. And then I'm going to tear apart the paper. Watch the feet. Slight movement, slight resistance to the outside. Now we're here. Okay, I'm feeling the pressure here. And now I'm going to slowly bend forward or forward fold. And as I'm forward folding, I'm tearing apart the piece of paper still, and I'm pushing my thighs apart. And my inside hip area here is starting to rotate in because I'm pulling the glutes. You can even physically take your glutes and spread them apart, and you can start to feel how your hips will internally rotate and your knees will come over your ankles and will be straight. And then you want to take your hands to the ground as far down as you can get. If you can't get this far, then you want to have a yoga block or a chair or a wall to help you. Side view, we're going to take our glutes all the way back to the wall, as far as you can go, keeping that back straight. Here we want to, remember, we're pressurizing our feet, active feet. We're pushing into the ground with the blades of our feet and the balls of our feet. And we're pushing our hips and our glutes back to the space behind us and up to the sky. And as we're pushing our feet into the ground, we're also pulling them apart, tearing apart that piece of paper, pulling apart our hips and our thighs, upper thighs. And then we're slowly, as the more we come further down to the ground, we're still keeping our chest at a good position. We're not curving our back. We're keeping our chest active and forward. And we're internally rotating those hips. Things are rotating at the ankle joints and at the hip joints. Feet are still straight ahead. And then we slowly drop our head, let your neck rest. And then when you get to this top position, you can adjust your hips, move them around, continue to rip apart the floor. This is an active forward fold. There you will feel some shaking, but you're tearing apart the floor. You're tearing apart the floor and really, really activating those hip joints. As you see my feet, I'll zoom in here, but you're really tearing apart the floor, keeping a strong arch, and you're tearing apart the floor. And as you're tearing apart the floor, your hips are doing the work. They're internally rotating. Oh, and the knees come in straight into alignment. You can actually feel kind of popping. Those are your natural adjustments, kind of like if you were to go to a chiropractor. And this is your detailed explanation of the forward folds, because I really want to make sure you guys know when you come out of this, come out of it as a zombie. Really just roll up really, really, really slow. You may feel a little shake in your legs. I do, at least. That is your detailed explanation of a forward fold. I want you to try to do that from anywhere from 3 minutes if you can, all the way up to 10, 20 minutes. Shake it out when you need to, but this forward fold is going to adjust your nervous system. So you may feel some shaking in the hips and the glutes, but if you allow your body to be transformed and regain, because what we're doing is we're rewiring our system to be able to adjust ourselves naturally, and eventually you'll start to feel your hip pain go away, your knee pain slowly go away as you learn and as your body remembers how to pull apart energy right to left instead of hip thrusting, instead of doing these exercises. This doesn't do anything for you, and it's going to hurt your back. We don't want to be in this position. So give it a try. Forward fold. Again, feet are straight. So I'm going to go through this quickly for this last bit just to remind you guys. Feet are straight, toes spread apart, balls of your feet and the blades of your foot are pressing into the ground right now. We're pressing, we're being active. We're going to kick our hips back and our glutes to the wall or space behind us and up. And we're going to tear apart the floor and tear apart. As we're tearing apart the floor, our thighs are tearing apart, and we are bringing energy right to left, and we are like a wave of energy going right to left, and we're taking our hands down as far as we can go with the goal of touching the ground. We're going to continue that pressure, and we're just going to wait until our body rotates here at the internal hips. And we rotate and then we hold for as long as we can, adjusting as we need to, coming out of it, moving out of it. But when we come out of it, we don't want to go like, oh, we come out of it, back. Keeping our posture, ear, shoulder, hip, and ankle in alignment. Give it a shot. That was a long explanation of it.